Welcome back, guys, to the channel. I'm Jake ELLENBOGEN, and today we're going to be continuing on with the Rams 2021 stat projection video series. Let's move on over to the edge defender, the top edge defender on this roster. One of the best edge defenders to come around in a while. And honestly, he's not even the best pass rusher that you've seen, but he's such a phenomenal run defender, might honestly be the best in the NFL at the position, that he definitely makes a lot of noise and he makes an impact. But the Rams were actually rewarded big time for signing him last year to a one-year prove-it deal. We're talking about Leonard Floyd, a guy that really wasn't that great of a pass rusher and actually found his stride last year with the Rams. His game is collectively coming together, and people need to feel excited about what is to come. That's right, because the Rams did bring him back on a 4-year, $64 million contract. Heavily scrutinized. People doubt it. People doubt him. The fact of the matter is, I'm going to trust the Rams on this one, and we're going to get into it. But before we do, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and drop a comment. And let's discuss Leonard Floyd. But all right, let's get into it. 17 games. You guys know the rules. We're starting off 62 tackles on the season for Leonard Floyd. Previously, this is somebody that had a career high of 55, and that was last year. Last year was his best season. It all seemed to click with the Rams. And what's really interesting to me is the fact that Aaron Donald has gotten so much success out of everyone around him, but he was also with Khalil Mack in Chicago and didn't have anywhere near the success that he had last year with Aaron Donald on his defense. So that's something to keep in mind. I think 62 tackles is very reasonable to expect. A guy that, you know, really does a nice job of setting the edge. He is a stout run defender, and he's a guy that, you know, can get into the backfield, crash the backfield, and make things happen. So I think 62 tackles, very reasonable. He could have more, he could have less, but that's my projection. Moving on, we have the sack total everybody wants to hear. He had 10.5 last year, including a few postseason sacks. Really emerged in the postseason, was a key contributor in the game against Seattle. But he only had 10.5 sacks. He probably could have a lot more. So I'm going to project 13 sacks, and I might be lowballing Leonard Floyd. I expect him to have a serious role in this defense, and there's a reason why the Rams chose him and brought him back and didn't pay the long-term deal to Dante Fowler Jr. Here's the thing. Dante Fowler Jr. might be a more talented toolbox, very toolsy pass rusher, but when you look at what Leonard Floyd brings in the run game, it is something special. So that's what ultimately got him the deal. So the rest is cake at this point. This is going to be one of the best run defenders, a guy that can set the edge with promise. And on top of that, now he's developing as a pass rusher and finding his best strides. So I have 13 sacks on the season for Leonard Floyd, former Chicago Bear. Previously didn't even come close to double digits. Now he's with the Rams. Gets 10.5 last year. He builds onto it this year with 13 and an extra game. And like I said, he could have more. 10.5 is career high last year in 16 games. We will see if a 17th game propels him into another level. Moving on, since we have 13 sacks, we're going to have at least 13 tackles for a loss, but I think this is somebody that can get in the backfield a few more times and get those tackles for a loss, and I'm going to give him 15 on the season. His career high is 11, which was last year. Again, career year for Leonard Floyd. I know some people would worry about, you know, a contract year, and maybe that's what propelled him ultimately to go over the top, or even the fact that he was reunited with Brandon Staley, but good players continue to play well, even when the circumstances change, even when the coaching staff changes, and I expect Leonard Floyd to be no different. Otherwise, the Rams wouldn't have brought him back, and on top of that, he'd probably be with the Chargers right now. I think it was a very mature move by Leonard Floyd to stick with the Rams and not follow Brandon Staley to the Chargers like anybody could have. He didn't take the easy way out. Don't get me wrong, he got paid handsomely, but he doesn't get enough credit for sticking with the Rams' #1 defense and not just following Brandon Staley, a guy that he's now been with for 2 teams in his career, both of his teams rather. Moving on, we have 2 forced fumbles. He has a career high of 1, which he's had in 2020 and his rookie year in 2016. I think 2 is fair, and he could have more than that. He's just not the type of guy like a Robert Quinn in St. Louis with the Rams. He constantly was looking to jar the ball loose. Leonard Floyd doesn't really play that style of game. When he goes after the quarterback, he's just trying to bring him down. Robert Quinn, it was a fluid motion, and he would win with speed off the edge, and he'd do such a nice job of just getting perfect timing, hands on the arm or the hand, and knocking the ball loose. I feel like Leonard Floyd is more likely to ride on the back or bring a guy down by the legs, so you don't see as many. It's why Aaron Donald, he does get them at times, just off the sheer force of him coming through the middle and hitting you dead on. But I think 2 is definitely a good number for Floyd. I think people would like that. And then I have 36 pressures, which may seem like I'm lowballing him here. And, you know, by any means, he could get to 40, he could get to 50. But again, this isn't an Aaron Donald type of guy. You need to realize Aaron Donald having over 100 pressures is just inhuman. It's not normal what he's been able to do. Leonard Floyd, again, he's such a stout run defender that he will sell out to stop the run and doesn't rush every single down. He's not constantly trying to get to the quarterback. And so for that reason, I think he'll take a hit in that department with the pressures. But at the same time, he is the best pass rusher off the edge that they have. So they might use him a little bit more this year, especially you know, with what they have and, you know, very uncertain, you know, group there with, you know, some potential, but not ultimately, you know, a group of guys that can start right away and, you know, be like perennial Pro Bowlers or anything like that. So I'm going to give him 36 pressures. Again, he had 30 in 2020. That was his career high. I think 36 makes a lot of sense. Again, he could get to 40, he could get to 50, but we're going to stay at 36. So looking at his career, he's had a really successful career thus far against the run, but the stats haven't really shown up in that regard. When you watch the film, Leonard Floyd stands out as a premier run defender, but as a pass rusher, it really all came together with the Rams. I think we'll continue to see more of him developing as a pass rusher. He just turned 28 years old. He signed for 4 years. There's a reason the Rams signed him for 4 years, and they chose him. Can't stress that enough. So I'm excited to see him. They essentially chose him over paying John Johnson, and they chose him over Dante Fowler, you know, a year ago. So that's what I'll say there. And they also chose him over paying Corey Littleton, who, you know, obviously they don't spend a ton of money on linebackers, so it definitely makes sense, inside linebackers. But they did actually take a pass on Corey Littleton and go after Leonard Floyd with that same money. But Leonard Floyd, he earned his payday, so we'll see if he performs. I think he's going to perform up to par. Some people are projecting a bust out of him, but either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Number 54 is making an impact with the Rams. He is set to have a really nice season, and you're going to see him coming to you live at SoFi very soon. As you guys probably already know, SoFi Stadium will have full capacity seating, which is great. I just figured I'd throw that out there in case you guys didn't know that. Again, that's going to do it for me. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. If you liked this, be sure to like it, subscribe, and comment. If you already subscribed, then you can probably just ignore me, and you probably already tuned me out anyway when I tell you to subscribe. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much, guys. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys tonight. I'm going to be streaming the end of Resident Evil Village. Later, guys. No, 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 no. Oh, my God, go.